Alabama. At this time, we bring you a 30-minute gospel program under the direction of the Reverend Paul Guinn, pastor of Oak Grove Missionary Baptist Church. This program has been kept on the air by the free will contributions of the listeners for the past 18 years. Contributions may be sent to Reverend Guinn in care of the station. And now, from the WCRI studios, the Reverend Guinn.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everybody. We're glad this morning to come to you with another 30-minute gospel message. We hope that it'll prove a blessing to you. Hope that you stay tuned with us, and hope that you'll enjoy the broadcast that we'll have to bring your way. This time, we're going to try to sing Walking Down the Streets of Gold. From this world of sorrow should I leave before you, I'll be walking down the streets of gold with the holy angels looking all around for you. I'll be walking down the streets of gold. I'll be walking down the streets of gold with my Savior anything to behold. I would like to meet you and to take you by the hand. I'll be walking down the streets of gold with a dear old prophet man the love was gone before. I'll be walking down the streets of gold, talk about the journey, how we landed on that shore. I'll be walking down the streets of gold. I'll be walking down the streets of gold with my Savior anything to behold. I would like to meet you and to take you by the hand. I'll be walking down the streets of gold. I will be so happy just to take you by the hand. I'll be walking down the streets of gold. Meet me in that city with that holy happy man. I'll be walking down the streets of gold. I'll be walking down the streets of gold with my Savior anything to behold. I would like to meet you and take you by the hand. I'll be walking down the streets of gold. We hope that you enjoyed it, and we're glad this morning, as we said, we're glad to come your way with another 30-minute gospel message, and we hope that it'll prove a blessing to each one of you that have tuned our way this morning. We appreciate everything that you've done in the way of helping us along the way and everything. We really do from the very depths of our heart. We have a real nice letter along with the offering for the broadcast, and this is from Mr. and Mrs. J.B. Cox, along with a real nice offering for the broadcast, and want us to dedicate him a good song. We hope this morning that we have will prove a blessing to you. They've been a real joy, a blessing, and a joy to know them and to have the privilege to live and have them as our friends. We appreciate them, and we appreciate their faithfulness to help us on the broadcast, and we just hope this morning that everything that we do will be a blessing to them as we come their way. I know that one thing is they write to us, and as they mention every time, maybe about they want to help try to reach some lost soul. Well, if I didn't have a lost world at heart, I wouldn't come this way. I wouldn't come, I wouldn't get up this early and come out this way if I didn't have a lost world at heart. But we appreciate people that's willing to stand by us and to help us. Have a nice offering, just to check for the broadcast. Mr. and Mrs. Charles W. Milligan from over Henniger Way, and I appreciate it. I really do. They've been real faithful, and they'll never know how much they have helped in to carry on the broadcast, but we appreciate them from the very depth of our heart. Got another nice letter from Delbert Lackey, and they want us to announce that this coming Saturday night will be their regular singing night, and that's out at the New Home Church of God on Gunners Mountain. And the Gag singers from Georgia, and the Blackburn singers from Gadsden, I believe is the way they got it, and they'll be, anyway, we went to hear them sing, and I never did separate the Garrett family from the others is all together, and I enjoyed the singing. I really did, and they'll be with them. That's on the 17th, and that's out on Gunner's Mountain at the New Home Church of God. We've been with them out there in the singings and had some real good times, and we enjoyed the singings, and really did. And then we've got another nice letter here, and with offering for the broadcast, and this is from Helen Beavers, and they're having a family. If I'm not speaking this right, I believe I am. The Dalton family reunion, and at the old home place on August the 25th, and they're having this reunion in memory of Alex Dalton, home place, and he's been dead 5 years, the 24th of August, and they wanted me to make mention or dedicate or bring to mind Mac and C.W. and Bob Pritchett. Said in the letter they didn't know their address. Well, I may not know Bob's. He lives on Common Mountain. I always listen to the broadcast. I don't know his address. I couldn't tell you how to back a letter to him, but I can Mac and C.W. They live in Hollywood, and their address would be Hollywood Route 1, and either one of them will get it if you'll just back it to either one of them, Hollywood, Alabama, Route 1. We're glad to pass the word on about the reunion, and we hope that you'll just take advantage of it. We appreciate the nice letter, appreciate the privilege of helping you out. I'd like to remember this morning Mr. Will Robertson and sent us an offering, and also Mr. Matson Stein, and we have Mr. Toot Phillips and boys. We want to move on down just a little bit again on that. We was by there, and one of the boys put us in some gas. I appreciate these boys from the very depths of my heart, but whenever they give me the gas, they didn't know at that time that this past Friday would be burying these boys' granddad and Toot's dad-in-law, and Mr. Charlie Hankles. He passed on, and we was with him in the funeral this past Friday. We didn't know at that time. Well, he's just feeling real good, and we wasn't expecting him to go out to meet God. So I'd put down that so I could make mention of the gas. I appreciate it from the very depths of my heart. But this morning, Tood and the family, or JB, we always just called him Tood. That's all I have a note for a long time. But JB and his family, they want to sponsor this morning's broadcast in memory of Mr. Charlie, or we always said Uncle Charlie Hankles, and we wanted to take time for the family of every one of the children, Buck and the boys, Pip. I know that's not his name, but that's what we always called him, and every one of the children. They wanted me this morning to take the time and to thank each one of you for every kind word, for everything that you've done in the way of helping them, for everything that was done. They wanted me to thank you that helped sing, and everything that was said or done during the death of this man. He was a wonderful man. He was a real friend of ours, and he was a man that you could count on what he said. I appreciated him from the very depths of my heart, and I'd like to thank them this morning for that they have helped us on the broadcast, and that they've helped us on their way. Many be the time these little old boys would pull in there, and I'd tell them to give me maybe $2 worth of gas, and they'd look around and smile and say, "What about 3?" And just add another. And you know, it makes me appreciate them from the very depths of my heart. I've watched them grow up, and they've been a blessing to me, along with all of the family. Used to live in Roach's Cove with just a great bunch of them. Of course, they're scattered now, but they still mean the world to me. I appreciate them. So we are glad this morning to pass the word on for them and say from the depths of our heart from them that they thank you for everything that they've done. Also, Brother John Ivy, Little John we call him, he handed us often on the broadcast, and we appreciate it. Mr. Jack Cash was by the house yesterday, and from down Woodville, Gurley way, down in there maybe, and But anyway, we appreciate the offering from the very depths of our heart. I'd like to make this dedication and this announcement. Mrs. Pauline Sharp is in the North Jackson Hospital. This is Roy Sharp's wife, and they desire that you pray for them, that you remember them in prayer. We're going to try to sing another song, and we hope that it'll prove a blessing to you. And I like the song. I'd like to dedicate it to, I believe it's Sonny Stewart, the person I ever heard sing it, and we can't sing it like Sonny, but we'd like to sing it to him this morning. I'm glad, and you know, Sonny can sing it in such a way that it just seems real. I remember just a little while back that he trusted the Lord, and hadn't been too long, maybe several months, but it seemed like when he begins to sing it, he goes back in mind and in memory to the time and the place and the hour whenever he just really trusted the Lord. I wish this morning, as we sing it, that you that are unsaved, I wish you just listen. No doubt there's a number this morning that's unsaved. I wonder what you're going to do with your life. I wonder this morning what your intentions are as you come to face the things of life. We're going to try to sing "I Hear the Sweet Voice." I heard a sweet voice so tenderly calling, sinner arise and be saved evermore. I knew it must be the voice of my Savior, for I had not heard a voice like it before. I remember one night in an old-fashioned meeting, I was praying to God to redeem my poor soul, when I heard a sweet voice of my loving Savior, and started that night to make heaven my home. I heard a sweet voice so tenderly calling, sinner arise and be saved evermore. I knew it must be the voice of my Savior, for I had not heard a voice like it before. I'm glad that I hear the voice of our Savior. I knew I'm redeemed by His wonderful grace. Someday when He calls, I'll go up to heaven, and in that dark city I'll look on His face. I heard a sweet voice so tenderly calling, sinner arise and be saved evermore. I knew it must be the voice of my Savior, for I had not heard a voice like it before. We hope that you enjoyed it. We'll make some announcements, and we hope that you'll pay attention, and hope that you'll take advantage of each one of them this morning. Brother Homer Carter will be at Wright's Chapel, and that's this coming Thursday night. Be preaching that this coming Thursday night, so we was contacted and asked us to make this announcement. And then he'll be starting revival there the fourth Sunday. That's Brother Homer Carter, the fourth Sunday in this month at Wright's Chapel. You keep it in mind. And singing at the Gurley Church of God, and that's this coming Saturday night. And you keep this in mind. I don't remember just exactly. They called enough a list of people that would be at this singing. That's at the Gurley Church of God. Now, we promised them that when we get loose from the revivals and everything, we'll try our best to go down and sing a little part if we're still in tune by then. But anyway, we're looking forward to being with them and singing. We enjoy it going to singings, and we really do enjoy trying to sing. But they'll have one this coming Saturday night, and they're looking forward to a great time. So you pray that God will give them good singing. A graveyard working, or a cemetery cleaning, we might put it. And this is at the Tally Cemetery, and this is up on Crow Creek, and that's next Saturday, the 17th. And Mac Pritchett called me and asked me to make an announcement, and maybe they'd put it in the paper, and they'd sent out word in different ways. But if you have any interest at all in the Tally Cemetery, they'd like to go and just keep it cleaned off. And the older ones, a lot of them have passed on, and it seems like a lot of times when the older ones lose it, they have to move on and go into the great beyond. Some of the younger ones lose interest in a lot of things that the old folks cherished real dear to their hearts, and they they just seem to have more love or feeling or spirit than some of us younger ones that's come on behind them. Let's remember this cemetery cleaning and go and be with them. A homecoming, and that's today, and that's at the Limrock Baptist Church. Brother Homer Carter is the pastor, and on next Sunday, now they've been starting the revival with the homecoming, but on next Sunday, they won't have the revival. It won't start today. But on next Sunday, the revival will start. Brother Leonard Ferguson from up Bridgeport Way will be joining with them in this revival. That's down at Limrock, and we're praying that they'll have a wonderful revival. And the revival will continue, and that's at Oak Grove. We've been there this week. We've had a good time. We've had a wonderful revival, but we've not had what Oak Grove ought to have had. I'll say it. We've had wonderful crowds, some real good singing. People been saved, and people just rejoiced in the Lord, but still there is a great, great need in this community. So it'll continue through this next week. We'll be there this morning. Also tonight, we'll be there in the over the weekend services. In the morning at 10 o'clock, Monday morning at 10 o'clock, we'll meet for another service. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, and throughout this next week, we'll be there. Brother Jack Cole will be with us through this next week, and we're looking forward to a great, great time in the Lord. Revival will begin next Sunday, and that's at Skyline Baptist Church, where Brother Dan Ivy is the pastor, and we'll be joining them there on Monday night after that. So you pray that God will give us a good revival, and that we'll have many, many souls will be saved. I'm praying this morning that we'll continue a revival at Oak Grove, and we're praying that God will just move. Now, I'm feeling this. I feel it from the very depths of my heart. I feel it for your community, for your church, or for anybody else's, but especially this morning, God's put on my heart a burden for Oak Grove, and I believe with all of my heart we're either going to have revival, or the great hand of God's going to begin to move. And I said it on maybe the other day, unless there is a turning back to God, unless there's a coming back to God, we're going to see one of the saddest years that we have ever saw. Now, people, as the preacher preached last night, you're not going to play with God. You may play today, and you may laugh, and you may just turn up your nose at the service of God and ignore it today, but there'll be a day. He said, I called and you wouldn't answer. Now you call and I won't answer. Wouldn't it be pitiful this morning that if God's hand was just to move over at your house, and some of you have just deliberately walked away from the ways of God? I'm talking about people in our area. I mean in Martintown community, and I mean in I'm not talking about all over the country. I don't know a whole lot about that, but I know Oak Grove, and I know this morning, I heard this statement. Now, I didn't hear the man make it, but it come to me that one of them asked him, what was you doing? And he said, well, I used to preach to the bootleggers, but now I'm bootlegging to the preachers. Let me tell you something. You can make smart remarks like that, and it may hurt your feelings, but I'm going to tell you now that you're going to face God. And you may turn your back on the work of God. You may scoff at the work of God, and you may make smart remarks, but you hear me this morning. It may be sooner than you think that you're going to go and stand before the great God of heaven. And You don't have to die with old age, or you don't have to have a stroke and lay for months and weeks and years and years. You can go out and meet God just at the snap of the finger. And I believe this morning that we ought to live continually in the fear of God. We ought to live where that we know that we're ready to go whenever God calls. We're going to sing another song. And we hope this morning that you'll just take the advantage of the opportunities and that you'll come this morning. Be with us in Sunday school at 10 o'clock and then service following. And we hope that you'll take the advantage of it this morning as we try to sing Across the Bridge. I have lived a life of sin in this world of living in. I have done the forbidden things I shouldn't do. I asked a beggar along the way. He could tell me where to stay, where I could find happiness and love that's true. Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge, there's no more pain. The sun will shine across the river, and we'll never be unhappy again. Follow the footsteps of the King till you hear the voices ring. They'll be singing out the glory of the land. The river of Jordan will be near. Sound of trumpet you will hear. You'll behold the most precious place ever known to man. Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge, there's no more pain. The sun will shine across the river, and you'll never be unhappy again. We're glad to have thee there with us and in the studio with us. Spent the night with Patricia. We're glad to have her with us this morning on the broadcast. We want Don to come now, and I want him to say what he wants to say about the announcements, maybe the things that they have in their church. Don belongs up at Lakeview. We don't all belong to the same church. Faye belongs over in Roach's Cove, and Don belongs at Lakeview. But I appreciate everybody. Appreciate them working with us, and I do from the very depths of my heart. Don, come and make your announcements, and then I want Faye to come and lead us in prayer. Just that's on your heart.
Thank you, Brother Pat. Us Faye's putting us good to be here this morning. Thank God for Faye while coming this way. You pray for us as we thank God, as we go from day to day. Certainly if there was a time that we need to pray one for another, it's in the day in which we live. Speaking of our announcements, we've got one, I guess that we better make it, don't while our pastor might have his feelings. Week after next, we're starting our revival. I believe it's on the 19th, and Brother Ted Camp will be the evangelist there, and Brother Dwayne Haley is the pastor. We'll also have some deep and dumb people there with us. So if you know of anybody that's deep and dumb in your area out there, we'll just give them a hearty invitation to come along and be with us. And we'll also have an interpreter there to just to interpret the message over to them. So first of all, you will keep it in mind and come be with us. So, at this time, we turn it back to the other Pat.
Thank you, Don. Come on, Faye. Won't you lead us in prayer this morning?
Pat, before we pray, I'd like to say that we have Brother Bud, the preach for us up in Arkansas today. And I'd like to invite everybody to come be with us, Brother Bud Jones. Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning, Lord, with thankful hearts. Thank you, Lord, for all the blessings of life. And we pray, Lord, that you just help us that if we come from each time on Sunday morning, that would be a blessing to somebody. And, Lord, that people that are lost will stop and think about where they're going to spend eternity. Lord, again, this morning we pray that you bless all of our duty to pray for. You know every need. Lord, you know the needs in the hospitals and people that are sick and people that have lost loved ones. We pray that you be very near and dear to each heart this morning. We pray, Lord, that you bless Uncle Pat as he comes from time to time. We pray that you'll just help us, draw us all close to you. These favors we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Faye. If you have your Bible and you'd like to turn with us for the few minutes that we have left this morning in the first chapter of the book of Romans. We want to read maybe 2 verses, and we want you to notice what Paul is saying here, and let it speak to us. In the 8th verse, first I thank my God. I want you to notice how he starts off. First I thank my God through Jesus Christ for you all. We could stop right there and talk for an hour and a half, but I want to go ahead. That your faith is spoken of throughout the whole world. I love that people that have faith in God, if they walk with God, that somebody knows it, somebody heard of it, somebody hears how that you have walked with God, how that you've stood for the Lord, and on down the line. Let me go ahead and read. For God is my witness, whom I serve with my spirit in the gospel of his Son. That's all we're going to read this morning, but I want to talk just for the little bit that we have. I want you to notice, first, I thank my God. I wonder this morning, would you just stop and consider, what do you thank your God for? And what did Paul have to thank God for? One of the things that he could thank God for was that his witness was in heaven. One thing, that his record was before God, and that there wasn't anything there that men could add to it other than God had it. Now, we may talk about each other in this world, and we may add things to people's lives that don't even belong in their lives. But he said, my record, my witness is in heaven. And I'm glad this morning, whatever he said, I thank God for that. Then I thank God for your faith. I can say this morning, maybe people that I've never seen or heard of, as far as that has a faith in God. But I'll say this morning, the old-fashioned Christian faith that will help men to cut loose from the world and to stand with God and stand for God. I thank God this morning for your faith in him. I thank God this morning for that has spread throughout the whole entire world. This morning we may not be able to cover the world ourselves, but I'm glad this morning that old Paul said, your faith has just moved out, your faith has grown, and your faith has spread. This morning we may feel just a little bit let down or something whenever somebody else takes out on God. But I'm glad that old Paul said, first of all, let me thank God for your faith. Oh, this morning, you that are walking with God, you're not walking alone. But listen, this morning, the Lord walks with you. A lost soul this morning, let me beg you, as one that loves you, to hear the Lord this morning. And where is your witness this morning? What kind of a witness do you have this morning as we come to you with a humble plea this morning that you turn to the Lord until next Sunday morning at 7:30? Won't you write to us? Won't you pray for us? But above everything in the world, won't you get right with God? It's our humble prayer.
You have just heard a gospel service under the direction of the Reverend Paul Guinn, pastor of Oak Grove Missionary Baptist Church. Your contribution to this program may be sent to the Reverend Paul Guinn in care of the station. You're in tune with WCRI in Scottsboro.